I'm gonna share with y'all the way we make our squash casserole in Paula Deen's Family Kitchen Restaurant, y'all, and the Lady and Sons. And everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. Now, Eddie just brought it to my attention that folks up north are not familiar with our yellow squash that we grow and cook down here. He told me that, y'all, when you say squash up there, that you're immediately thinking about our hard squash, like acorn squash.
Well, I think in the last time we did it was back in the holidays, and people up north are out of summer mode by then. Where we have squash, yellow squash all the time.
Yeah, we have it year round down here. So I'm gonna take my squash that have been thinly sliced. That way it doesn't take as long for them to cook. Now, because they're trying to cook in really huge batches, here's something that I do that they don't do. I cook my onions in a separate pan with butter. For some reason, that just, by me sauteing those onions by themselves, it's just like full of flavor, and to me it just makes it better. So after I get the squash cooked, then I'm gonna saute my onions in butter. And all I have in here, I don't have any water in the pan, just a little bit of butter and a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna add just a little bit more butter. Not a whole bunch, you know, just enough to wet the bottom of the pan. And now I'm going to add some black pepper. For this to cook faster, you can put the lid on the pan, and that'll really help it get soft quick. So I'm going to stick the lid on it.
There you go.
Where's the lid? Where's the lid? Thank you, Eddie. That is our lid. I have the hardest time with lids in this joint, y'all. Especially plastic containers. Who is eating my lids? I've got all the bottoms in the world, but then I don't have a lid. So I would love for the lid eater to come talk to me about this, and let's see if we can't work something out so he won't eat my lids anymore. Does that sound good to y'all? Sounds good to me. Do y'all have the same problem?
Yes.
Who is this thing eating those lids?
I don't know, because I try to take stuff home and then there's no lid.
There's no lids. Okay. Hear that sizzling, y'all, when we put that lid on it? It started going to town. All right, I'm going to scoot over here and I'm going to look for another saucepan. And I'm going to cook those onions while the squash is cooking. And I'm gonna cook them in, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of butter. And all of that is gonna go into our casserole dish. Oh, it smells so good. So just know, our friends up north, that when we talk about a squash casserole, that we're talking about a yellow summer squash or a zucchini. Do y'all have zucchinis year round, Eddie? Okay, you can do like half squash, half zucchini, and it's perfectly delicious. Because once cooked, the zucchini to me tastes like the squash. So that's not a problem at all. Okay, so in go the onions. So those should be ready about the same time. I have been serving this particular recipe, well, all of my adult life, but certainly from the beginning in the restaurants when we started serving, you know, really family meals. People have loved it now, going on, I guess, 30 years. So you never get tired of it. And you notice I didn't put any water in there because you're going to be amazed at how much water is in our squash. You can see when I put that lid on that it started collecting the water, the condensation in that pot. So no water is needed to cook that squash and zucchini or whatever you're using. Alright, I hope that's enough butter, 3 tablespoons. Ooh, doggies. Some cornbread and squash casserole and maybe a piece of fried chicken. Maybe. You know who has got delicious fried chicken, Eddie, that I'm very proud of? Paula Deen's Creek House.
Yeah, it's a little different than...
It's a little different. It's a little different. That's probably more the way I cooked my chicken before we opened our first walk-in restaurant. And but it's delicious.
I know you said you thought it needed a little more salt.
Yeah, it needed a little bit more salt to me.
I actually liked it. So
you did?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's certainly better for us to undersalt versus oversalt, because you can always pick up your salt shaker. But I finished eating a piece left over last night from taking the triplets there to eat. Now all of a sudden they started saying, Creek House, Creek House, Creek House, want to go to Creek House. So Eddie and Cloud and I loaded up the 3 babies and we went to Creek House. And like I said, their fried chicken, I'm really proud of the crew there at Creek House. So kudos to y'all on your fried chicken. So I'm gonna add our onions that we cooked in some butter. I'm gonna mix those together. Okay, I think I got everything turned off. All right. That looks so good. And I think I wound up putting like a teaspoon of salt in it. So I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna add a little bit more butter. Come on, get out of there. It's gotten soft in here. I didn't even have to drain that squash. You know it, because it finally absorbed. All right, just a little bit.
That's called a little bit?
Yes. Usually when I make my squash casserole, I wind up with like 1 stick of butter in the whole entire casserole. You know, a little bit to cook the squash in, a little bit to cook the onions in, and now a little bit to butter my crackers that I'm going to put on top. I'm going to put some inside my casserole. And that will help, you know, just help bind it together. And then my crumbs that I'm going to put on top, I'm going to toss them in the butter, because, you know, if you go to try to butter the tops of your cracker top, whatever kind of topping you use, you can't get it evenly on there. So I like to butter mine in the pan with melted butter. That way, I know everybody gets a little drink of butter. See? That's so much easier than dotting the top of it and hoping it, whoa, they escaped. Okay, let's bring this over here. So now we're gonna add our cheese, and we're just adding a regular cheddar cheese. We're gonna add a little Parmesan cheese, and we're gonna add about a half a cup, no, 1 cup, no, half a cup. I can't half see today, y'all. I'm gonna add like a half a cup of sour cream. But before I add that, I'm gonna just stir that up. So
Now, knowing you, Paula, just so you know,
Yes.
there's more Parmesan, there's more cheddar, and there's more
well, I
sour
was gonna
cream
say
sitting
that
over here.
really doesn't look like enough cheddar to me, but
Well, there's plenty more. Where that came from.
because you know I cook by sight. I really do. I cook by sight, y'all. You just get a feel for it after a while when you've done it so much. And all you young women out there that say, oh no, I have to have a recipe. I have to have a recipe. Well, guess what, girls? One day you'll have the feel. And you won't need to have an exact recipe when you make your macaroni and cheese, your squash casserole. That day will come for you. Half a cup of sour cream. This recipe doesn't call for any kind of canned soups. Just your sour cream. Oh my gracious, and this is so good. There's no eggs in it. So you don't have to worry about it cooking very long because everything's cooked in this. So we're gonna put this in our casserole dish, which we have sprayed with a non-stick, and I'm just gonna spread that around in the pan, in the bowl. I'm gonna pour this into our dish. Oh,
Paula, if you
gosh.
could make some of these ahead, say it's squash season, and you
Uh-huh.
can buy your squash
Uh-huh.
pellets, for at least in the South.
Yes.
Could you freeze this?
Oh my gosh. I would freeze the squash itself. You know, just blanch it off and freeze it.
Oh, and then just
Yeah, and put this together in the cold winter nights. It'll taste so good. All right, so there we go. And now we're gonna take our buttered cracker crumbs, and we're gonna sprinkle those around on top. I just love a good cracker crumb topping. It just makes it. So there we go. Every one of those little crumbs are buttered. And that's very important to me. I got this out to drain the squash, but it didn't need it. So I'm gonna put that in the oven, 350. And just until it's really hot and bubbly again. Maybe 20, 25 minutes, something like that. But it's not gonna take long because like I said, everything in it is already cooked. I think I put the timer on 20 minutes, and this was hot, very hot and bubbly after just 20 minutes because remember, everything was still hot and completely cooked. So here goes, and those buttered cracker crumbs just makes it, y'all. A totally understand why this is one of the most popular dishes, the side dishes that we offer at Paula Deen's Family Kitchen. This is very, very popular.
And very, very good.
And very, very good. So I hope y'all will try this recipe because it's tried and true. I've been making it oh my gosh,
It's one of the originals.
50 years I've been making it. How can that be when I'm not 50 yet?
I know.
I think y'all will love it though. Loving best dishes. Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.